Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today I'm going to make a Hemostat Mandala shirt. The shirt was washed and dried, soaked in a soda ash solution for at least 20 to 30 minutes. I wrung it out of my Panda spin dryer so it's just barely damp. I also have it turned inside out. I'm going to put the mandala on the side of the shirt, so I need to find the middle of this side portion. I'm going to fold the bottom up to the armpit, and then use a washable marker and make a mark right in the center. Putting my finger on that mark, I'm going to fold the bottom of the shirt up to that mark and fold the top of the shirt down to that mark. I'm basically starting the beginning of what would be like a paper airplane fold. I'm going to pinch that seam and lift the shirt up off of the table, folding it in half as I lay it down. Whenever I fold a mandala, I always fold from the same side each time. So right now, one side of my shirt only has 2 folds on it. I'm going to take that side that has 2 folds and fold each side down again. I'm going to smooth out any of the wrinkles, and then I'm going to repeat that process, folding each side down one more time. My fabric is going to be really thick. For this shirt, I'm going to use a pair of straight hemostats right down at the very end. I'm going to make a diagonal line with the hemostats, and then I'm going to tighten them down as tight as I can get them. The rest of the shirt, I'm going to use curved hemostats. I have various sizes of hemostats, so that's why you're going to see me, I'm going to lay them on my ruler so you can kind of get a gauge the size of a hemostat I'm using in each area. For me, for this shirt, I'm really just trying to find hemostats that will fit. Because I folded it so many times, it's really a thick fold. So when I put the hemostats on, I'm going to make sure I tighten them down as tight as I can get them. And when you do this, you need to watch and make sure that you are ready to move quickly if you have to. Sometimes the hemostats will pop, and when they do, they can fly quite a distance. I've put some heat shrink tubing on the teeth of my hemostats so that they don't damage my shirts. I'm using a washable marker and making a mark where the sleeve begins so that I don't make my mandala too large. Since this is a long sleeve shirt, I decided to go ahead and put a design on the sleeves. So I straightened out the sleeves and I put them together so that I can just tie the design one time. This will also help the design be more uniform on both of the sleeves because it's going to be in the same area. I decided to put a heart on the sleeve, and so using a washable marker, I drew half of a heart on the sleeve. Then I began fan folding that line. This is a pretty thick fold because it is 2 layers of fabric for each sleeve. So I've folded 4 layers of fabric right here. I'm wrapping my sinew around a few times and then going to pull it really tight. The waxed sinew will form a waterproof barrier that won't allow the dye to get underneath it, and so there will be a white line right around my heart. I added one additional little line outside of my main heart line, just as a little extra design element to set that heart apart. The rest of the shirt I'm just going to scrunch up and hold the folds in place with rubber bands. I'm going to ice dye this shirt in the Muck, so I've taken the shirt and I've gently placed it down inside of a tub that's large enough to hold all of the hemostats. When you're moving your shirt, you need to be gentle with it so none of the hemostats pop off. I want to form a little bit of an ice barrier around this scrunched portion so that I don't have to use quite as much ice. So I'm using my silicone cake molds and attaching them together, and then to hold them in place, I'm going to use some dye bottles that I filled with water, just as weights to hold the silicone cake molds up close to the shirt. Down below this video in the description, I've left a link for where I purchased the silicone cake molds, as well as links to hemostats and some of the other items that I use when I tie-dye. I'm going to use blue colors for the mandala and for the heart portion of the shirt, and I'm going to use some greens for the main body of the shirt. I'm beginning right at the very end of the mandala, and I'm using lapis from Pro Chemical and Dye. I'm going to add a little bit of that color to every other section of the mandala. I'm also going to add the lapis to the heart area on the sleeves. The remaining sections of the mandala are going to be indigo from Custom Colors. Now I'm going to add a little bit of additional soda ash to the top of the dye. I'm adding the additional soda ash so that as all the ice melts and runs through the shirt, I want to make sure I have plenty of soda ash left in the shirt to react with the dye. I'm going to add a few pieces of ice to the top of the dye that I just added. And then I'm going to cover the remaining part of the shirt with ice. So for this shirt, I'm adding dye under the ice on part of the shirt and dye over the ice on part of the shirt. Before I add the dye to the scrunch portion, I'm going to add a little bit of baby blue from Dharma Trading Company over the top of the mandala area. On the scrunch portion, I'm going to begin by adding some sage from Pro Chemical and Dye, followed by olive from Pro Chemical and Dye, and dark green from Pro Chemical and Dye. Now I'm going to add another additional sprinkle of soda ash over the top of this dye. Then I'm going to put the shirt aside where it won't be disturbed for at least 24 to 48 hours. I left this shirt for about 48 hours and then I took it to my sink and began to rinse. I began rinsing in cold water to rinse out any of the soda ash that was remaining in the shirt. Then I gradually warmed the water up to hot and continued to rinse to get out the excess dye that hadn't bonded with the fabric. After I rinsed for a while, I decided to go ahead and soak the shirt to get out the excess dye. So I added some hot water to my sink, added a little squirt of Blue Dawn dish detergent, and allowed the shirt to soak. I continued this soaking process until most of the excess dye was out and the water was almost clear. Then I threw it in my washing machine and I washed it using hot water and some of Dharma's textile detergent. Threw it in the dryer, and this is what our shirt looks like. So overall, I'm really happy with this shirt. I did get definite lines in the mandala from the hemostats. However, because the fabric was so thick, I didn't get as many white lines as I was wanting. I also like the hearts on the sleeves. I think those add just a little bit of added design to the shirt. I really like the color combination. I love the color splits that I got, especially from the greens, the sage and the olive and the dark green. One of the colors put out a little bit of pink. I'm not sure if it was from one of the blues or whether it was from one of the green colors. So hey, if you guys have enjoyed watching this video, I sure would appreciate it if you would hit that big red subscribe button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.